How's it going, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today, I am going to be continuing the Rocky Review-athon, even though no one watches these videos. So I might just be talking to myself. Hello? Is anyone there? Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Rocky IV, which came out in 1986. This is the third sequel to the original film, and this movie is also directed by Sylvester Stallone. Obviously, the previous two films were directed by him as well, and I think Sylvester Stallone directs Rocky Balboa, as I mentioned in my Rocky III review. But overall, this is going to be another fairly positive review for the Rocky franchise. I don't hate this movie. I actually like it a fair amount. However, I go back and forth on whether or not Rocky III is better than this one. I'm sure most people would probably say Rocky IV is better than Rocky III, but I really don't know. I mean, this movie is pretty damn goofy, and so is Rocky III, but arguably this movie's even more goofy than the third installment. But yeah, we'll get into all that. So I guess maybe that's kind of one of my main criticisms of this movie. It's a little cartoony, especially with the character of Ivan Drago, but he's also very scary at the same time. Like, yeah, he's kind of cartoony. He's kind of like a machine. I think that's even mentioned in this movie. He's not a machine, he's a man. I think they say that when Rocky's fighting him at the end, when he makes him bleed. And, you know, it's kind of goofy. You know, you have Dolph Lundgren kind of hamming up the role, but also it is still kind of effective and kind of scary, the character of Ivan Drago. I mean, he is easily the scariest antagonist of the Rocky franchise, at least in my opinion. And, you know, he's got lines like, if he dies, he dies. And it's just like, Jesus, man, like, it's pretty scary stuff sometimes, but it's also kind of goofy. I don't know. I mean, I do kind of like how Ivan Drago's this kind of quiet villain. You know, he doesn't really have that many lines. He probably has like 10, maybe. Like, let's be honest, he doesn't have that many lines in the movie. But everything he says is a banger. I mean, again, like, if he dies, he dies. Just like so dang intense at times, especially when Apollo dies. I mean, which I actually didn't know he died when I was watching this movie for the first time, and I didn't know Apollo Creed was going to die, so I was pretty, I was caught off guard when that happened. I was pretty worried that I didn't know it was going to happen, and yeah, when they were fighting Apollo and Ivan, no one calls him Ivan, let's be honest, but when Drago and Apollo were fighting in the ring, I was like kind of worried, but then I was like, oh no, they're not going to kill Apollo, are they? They're not going to kill Apollo. No, they do. So that's pretty scary, and it definitely hypes up Ivan Drago as this very intense antagonist. And I think, again, very effective. But it can be cartoony at times. I mean, this is a very 80s movie for sure. You know, you have the montage sequence of Rocky training in Russia or the Soviet Union. No, it's Russia now, right? I don't know. When did the Soviet Union become Russia? What year? I don't know. Not good with my history, apparently. But he's training in Russia, which is kind of cool, seeing Rocky train in the snow. And also he has like a beard for a second. So that's kind of cool. And that montage is very 80s style. A lot of good songs in this movie, though. There's some good stuff. I mean, they still continue to play Eye of the Tiger in this movie as well, which is obviously a banger. And there's that one good song that's playing when, like, Rocky's kind of just driving. And there's, like, all those... It's kind of like a montage sequence, again, of all the flashes from the other movies, from the previous 3 films. And that's pretty good. I like that this movie kind of establishes that it has high stakes. Again, it's all because of the character of Drago killing Apollo towards the middle of the movie. And it's like, dang, okay, there's some stakes in this movie, and it feels like a big deal, and I really like that. And I will say one negative I have with the movie, though. I don't know why Rocky needs to fight Drago. I mean, it doesn't make sense. The way they explain it in this movie, which they don't really do a good job of explaining why he has to do this and fight Drago. It really just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. I'm sure someone, you know, let me know down in the comments. No one's watching this video, though. That's how confident I am that no one's watching this video. I could say anything and no one would be watching this. Anyway, I'm salty, okay? I'm salty that these videos don't get views. Okay, whatever. Stop talking about it. Another negative aspect about this movie, I think I already mentioned, you know, a little cartoony. However, we do have a robot in this movie. I'm not kidding. There's a robot in this movie. What? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like, what's going on? And that's kind of how I feel about this movie sometimes. I'm like, what is happening right now? It's just a little weird. It's a little cartoony, to be honest. And I'm confused. But I still like the movie overall. Again, the character of Drago is just amazing. And I keep mentioning him, but it's like he's easily the highlight of the movie. I mean, without his presence in the film, it just wouldn't be the same. I mean, we had Clubber Lang in the last movie. He's an all right villain. And then Apollo's obviously awesome, but he obviously becomes a friend of Rocky in the third movie. And then in this one, we have Drago, and he's just easily the best villain of the franchise, I would say. I'm sure most people would agree, but yeah, Dolph Lundgren in the role is fantastic. And this movie can be a little cartoony, a little goofy, whatever you want to call it, a little too much 80s, or whatever you want to say. I definitely can kind of feel that way at times. And I guess that's kind of my negative with the movie. It definitely feels a little, like, outlandish, I guess you could say, and maybe even more so than the third one. It may be a little more outlandish than the third one, which is why, again, I go back and forth on whether or not I like Rocky 3 or Rocky 4 more. But I still really enjoy this movie. I think it's pretty good. You know, I think it's fun for sure. And I can understand why some people would, like, really, really like this movie, again, because it's so iconic with the character Drago and everything. And obviously the death of Apollo Creed, super sad and unexpected, to be honest. I mean, but yeah. And then again, another negative, I don't know why Rocky needs to fight Drago, but apart from that, like, it's still a pretty decent movie. I do enjoy it overall, and I'm sure most people enjoy it as well. I think most people do enjoy this movie. Again, I think most people enjoy it even more so than Rocky 3, but of course, let me hear your guys' thoughts on the movie down in the comments below. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.